All right, so yeah, a happy Merry Xmas on this particular day, the 25th of December 2025. But then we also have issues to talk about because currently at COCOBOD, there are issues at equals to COCOBOD. That these particular issues are equals to COCOBOD. No, it is safe to say it can hinder how COCOBOD operates. And then I don't know if the whole system was being set up to make appointees, and as a Mahama administration appointees, no, failure and that one day I don't know. I don't know how the system was set up. But one person I mean, can say no, we're learning salary. I told down we are learning. Say he's not even taking salary when a year President John Dramani Mahama appointed him to be the CEO of COCOBOD, Randy Abbey. Now, I'll break this down for you to see or for you to know exactly what is really going on because there's a massive, big corruption at COCOBOD is here because of this particular thing. No, Ama Sabri Aminuka say, all contracts have been frozen. Contracts be a COCOBOD, it has been frozen. Now, you will any it is Randy Abbey, and Randy Abbey, who is now the current CEO of COCOBOD, was starting a making complaints. Say, almost share a year COCOBOD or books num or maybe we say COCOBOD as a company, as a public entity. I was say you take care of our cocoa farmers. In business, we have any profit and losses. In terms of COCOBOD, or more profit and losses. They are making losses year on year, which is why every time we say COCOBOD and Kasa was an institution, regardless, or more boka. A buying sika na buying di gumusa and they are not making any profit. Say a buying a giant support and now COCOBOD a big. Now, Randy Abbey didn't say we better to not share. Say one of the reasons I contributed to all of these things, how our contracts was given out to certain NPP big men. Even though currently NPP for more positions, some people are still benefiting from these contracts. One of them, the 50 million contractor, award the Emma COCOBOD contract, award the Emma Wuntumia. Menuka says, Attorney General is on it in court. Untumi so ababeka se enye no crap. And there are other substantive people or mosono or moje contract. But before I bet to us on Randy Abbey and Kasankasa ababekasa, you go continue no mun say because one person or no so didn't same be ababe tuja Kwesi Pratt. And Kwesi Pratt is basically saying say he told Randy Abbey to be a national and yet and Okoha, I don't know, he needs to sacrifice, and that is exactly what is really going on. Now, before I bet to us, Yanko share this particular video of what Randy Abbey said when he organized a press conference.
Nana Okata Cocoros. Asem. What is our buying say? COCOBOD in home free. A horn. Cocoros. Because COCOBOD signed Cocoros contracts 26 billion. 26 billion cedis. There were some particular years, PPRC. Say PPRC, no na, determine price and a allocation for everything. Inti in Rona ebeto or my allocation. See ebe COCOROSA or my allocation. Sano mieno COCOBOD share. The ebe call Holies. The ebe call QCC. The ebe call CMC. Nini na PPRC ni na yes and share no. Enti say yebe roads PPRC say bia ye ma 100 million some fanya roads. But obeje di say 2018-2019 PPRC anya allocation $1 1 cedi for roads. COCOBOD awarded road contracts 222 million. And cedis and $99 million. 2018-2019. 2019-2020, PPRC awarded ama $1 1 cedi. CM Fanya Coin. COCOBOD awarded road contracts 231 million cedis and $1.175 billion. 80 for 3 years. 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021. So 26 billion here can say COCOBOD awarded contracts. No? These 3 years alone, COCOBOD awarded contracts 21.5 billion. 2018-2019, 2019-2020, 2020-2021. 2 of the years, no PPRC anya allocation 1 cedi for road. Now 26 billion, assuming say road contractors here or more 3 years to finish the road. How are you going to pay? How are you going to pay? So 26 billion on the basis of revenue. COCOBOD enyano. First of all, Machiro say these 2 years, no, there was no allocation, so zero allocation. Here now when your allocation no award contract 14 billion. How are you going to pay? Sika ben na odebet ya. Because PPR say na here allocation ma o. COCOBOD do de nie. Ye ma allocation ye pese ye akwan e na bridge na yi nti ya allocation say. Hwe so na farmer contract. But yes, I am my allocation and I my contract $1,175,000,000. How were you going to pay? Sikabenanga oditua. So this is the problem. To say, okay, say, yini bebre omunye, almost 30 omunye, because you don't have the money. And why award the contract? Tia COCOBOD, a contract certificate, a cash office 4.4 billion. Sikano. Enti cocoa na ye tono kra no because of rollover o bonka. Me wa wankasa no di ka 33 billion dada. 33 billion ka na ye so awo. Na afi de ya san ye rollover. Wo to cocoa no from farmer na COCOBOD e boka. Na cocoa roll say me maba bebia me buy my buy every region in district. Akwani are terrible. Terrible. But onya road agency COCOBOD no is not on consolidated fund. Who generate sika no and we spend it. Into how on earth say who need allocation, but who to me award the contracts. And yet 10 million, yet 20 million, $1 billion. Into nana, that's the problem. Into be around now in funa mi share money. If you are following no be ani ya kwan. Me church mu say. Asama atuyeni waiting na buying say COCOBOD you free road. This is the problem. But anka say every year no cocos can be a kakra near Siobia Mankranso bridge bi wo ho yenye ebia say she has say bibi wo ho feeder road bi yen so ana yenye bibi enti at least no wonim so coco near ye no ye di bibi kakra. But you go and award contracts of 26 billion. We are Ministry of Roads and Highways. And how were you going to pay? This is the problem. The idea of the Aswayani. It is a drawer in draw for Yadiomoka over $350 million. INTI. Contractors same. After the cocoa na ye tonu kra no nso no because of sa rollover 260 the abeto bia no na ebo honka. But maybe nyama esu nyina akire mo because anytime any mushia I go through some of this things so that ye nyina yebe nya a clear understanding of situation ye wo mu. It is here to our dream as to how to get out. You better sure say industry ni be here. Ye nyina no ye nim. Se ni aye kan. Enti yankaza COCOBOD there are things are SSC be share workers no Wednesday. Ebie bibia so chromo. Say company na wo ho no this is the state. This is what is going on. No be anti ase enti obi nkotra baby expectation e was here my kanino na nka ye ni say say no yentumi nya biom the aniama bebre was sisa in what we do but aban so edi atu na ni so say the obey bia ebeba ekwiafo ani age no ama motumi a contribute asa pija cocoa no obey. That is why aban say FOB obema 70%.
So this is exactly what Randia Beyeka. The COCOBOD rules, so for those of you who don't know the COCOBOD rules, COCOBOD no a cocoa organization, a Ghana Yati cocoa organization, basically it helps for farmers who produce cocoa in our rural areas. And one of the things also we say Ghana, our biggest exporter in terms of agricultural products on cocoa. And you know the government in as part say as part of effort so mbeboa ekuafo no baby wo ekuafo omo saa omo ye saa cocoa efuo ni ade ade a ekwan na ye de eye cocoa beans no ebe fa so aba krom no aba eba area say Accra ni Kumase abeton export akwa amanone no saa ekwan na enye enu ti COCOBOD ka say yankase yin create rule. So that was what really brought about the cocoa rules, and I said the COCOBOD rules. Saa COCOBOD and cocoa rules no. COCOBOD ankasa na award the contract no. Inti ebia a particular place like Azim, a kwan ni nye kuafo omo work omo ye cocoa omo do so ho a, then COCOBOD will award the road contract to someone to do it. So there will be easy transportation of these cocoa beans. But then apparently awarding more cocoa rows. Contract for cocoa rows are. Meanwhile, this cocoa rows contract na award no, and yes significant. It is more than the money a COCOBOD for ankasa award in their coffers to even sponsor this particular type of rules. Inti obiaba ni amane contract. I'm talking about the NPP administration. Inti aba ne sa no sikebi ewo bia ya award contracts na memuasa ama ya kobobisia, and because of the COCOBOD as an institution, no, it is making losses. Now, Randy Abbey this same way ever two no their cause because one person udi kan edin same way ever two he reacted to these issues. In your man, papa, Kwesi Pratt. Kwesi Pratt says something. Also, this is the first time COCOBOD's liabilities have exceeded assets in 80 years. Inti Randy Abbey buy no who's no. In terms of business, no, send make profits and losses. But in terms of a year near my was physical near like the no, we can term it as liabilities and assets. Liabilities near the elbow can be who can be liabilities and an asset. Dear generating income, and I said this car air bro. But for the first time in 80 years, according to Kwesi Pratt, no, Ghana a COCOBOD no near Mwanka was a more muscano and a near ma omuwa moka expenses and a dozen sing assets no. And I said this is the first time I see in 80 years. Since Kwame Nkrumah's time, even before independence, we in CM. Now, this same Kwesi Pratt said something before Randy Abbey was appointed. Say, COCOBOD now wakono is either say obi bien in yes, he will live there and have a bad name. And apparently, no, ni buoni. You could see in summer a year Randy Abbey edituja. When we come back, we will definitely continue in regards with this particular update.
Yes, I'm very worried. I mean, and I'm sure that perhaps we were also as worried as I was yesterday. After listening to the briefing on the state of the COCOBOD, is frightening. And yesterday, you know something that clicked. When Randy was appointed as chief executive of the COCOBOD, I mean, he told me, and I said, Randy, what are you going to do there? You are making a significant contribution as a media personnel and so on. Why are you going there? What is the motivation and so on? Yesterday, I felt right.
Vindicated.
Yes, I felt right.
Yes.
Just poor boy. Poor boy. Why this burden? Of course, somebody must carry the burden. Somebody must work for Ghana and so on. But the mess is huge. It's so huge. I mean, especially the part where, we are told that the total liabilities of COCOBOD are much bigger than its total assets.
Yeah.
It's a bankrupt company, But you need people like Kukofu and others, to rally around in order to engage and to see if we can find solutions to these hydra-headed problems that confront us. So, my brother, congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's see.
I mean, listening to Randy yesterday, you're absolutely spot on. It was very depressing.
So depressing.
Very, very depressing. And the question I asked myself, why do we do this? Why are we doing this to our own, our own country? What do we want? It's very difficult to sometimes understand why and how people do certain things. And again, as if you knew it, but whilst you and I and Kwekubak were seated, I was recalling what the first thing you said when you came on the show after Randy's appointment, and you said, look, you pity Randy. Those were the use you said, I pity Randy. But at the time, I didn't have that in-depth knowledge of how bad the situation was. Fortunately, you did. And so you knew exactly what you're saying. But after listening to him yesterday, I was like, wow. You know, I mean, somebody else would have resigned and said, look, deal with it. Whatever the state ought to do. But you see, he said here something yesterday. He said, look, some very, very, very hard and tough decisions would have to be taken.
Actually, this is very sad. COCOBOD as Ghana's institution, a meme, a say, a shit. That is why the title of this particular video, this particular live was that COCOBOD is on fire. And yet clickbait, it is true. A shit. Adeɛ hye so ana ayɛ den asɛe. So it is sad. Randy Abbey, the issue ni deɛ yɛnhwɛ. Sisi ano they've taken steps, proactive steps to freeze all contracts. Say contracts Mahama na de ma o, say Akufo-Addo na de ma o, say Tamils na de ma o. You freeze it because we need to go back to the books and see which contract is legitimate or legit and which one is not. And even crying in terms of the contracts, which ones can we do away with so that we can save money and be sustainable as a company, COCOBOD. These are the issues are on the ground. So clearly, I don't know what will happen, but we need to see what will happen in 2026 as to whether this whole COCOBOD issue, it will be solved. And I in summer a year. Kweku Bako, sorry, Kwesi Pratt, na or see first time your man Randy Abbey contracts. He said something. He said that he pities him because clearly, Utimu said no, who said no. Baby and Samuel Kono said you a yadia the enye and anyema the enkoyi. So that is exactly what is really going on. But then in Penny 4 say Siniechi and Ebi Muchale. So we are all hoping and COCOBOD acquire Ghana, a company. So what we can hope as a nation is to pray for the best. So that is exactly what is really going on in terms of COCOBOD or more issues.